Hello, my name is Nimalayan Maniam and my matrix number is 307706. Today we're going to talk about inflation. So let me give you a quick intro about it. Imagine this. Last year a cup of coffee cost us 3 ringgit. Today the same cup is 5 ringgit. Why the sudden rise? The answer lies in a powerful economic force we all feel but rarely see: inflation. Inflation is the rate at which prices for goods and services increase over time, and it affects everything from your morning coffee to our monthly rent. It also reflects the value of our money. When inflation goes up, our money buys less, making every ringgit in our pocket worth just a little bit less. In this video, we're going to cover the concept of inflation, the effect and causes, and also how it's measured and managed.
Hello everyone, my name is Robopian and my number matrix is 303717. Today I'll be giving a presentation about inflation. The inflation is characterized as a rise in the general price level and it has stayed steady for years, which means that it is stable in inflation rate. The inflation rate is a percentage increase in the total price. For example, a lot of bread costs 2.5 ringgit in Malaysia when it is 2015. In 2024, the same lot of bread costs 4 ringgit. So now, the following are the types of inflation. The first one is demand pull inflation. The second one is cost push inflation, and the last one is import inflation. For the demand pull inflation is triggered by rise in aggregate demand after the economy reached full employment. It happens when the demand for goods and service exceeds their supply, causing price to rise. So we can say it in conclusion, too much money chasing too few things. For the cost push inflation, it happens when the cost of producing goods and service increasing, and business will pass this higher cost onto consumer in the form of higher price. So we can say that this part of inflation is driven by higher production costs rather than increased demand. For the import inflation, it happens when the cost of goods and services that the country import increase, leading to higher price within the country. For example, Malaysia import textile where the price has been increased in India. Thus, the price of textile will be higher in Malaysia.
For the next part, I will talk about the effect of inflation. But before that, allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Amirul bin Muhammad Khalid and my matric number is 305332. So there are several effects of inflation to economy, with most of them is exceptionally harmful, and among them are: first, demand curve will shift to the right. This is because there will be an increase in demand due to limited supplies during inflation. And second, the price of goods and services will increase because during inflation, unit value of currency diminish, which lead to its purchasing power falls and the price will rise. For the third one is the company will lose its purchasing power because the increase of price for raw materials will also increase the cost of production, and when these things happens, company will have to find a way to not increase the price too much. And lastly, shortage can happen due to inflation because if inflation was driven by the increasing of demand, shortages will happen due to limited supplies, and this can then lead to a higher price of a product or services.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Adham Pujaif Abdulazim Puja. My metric number is 303031, and right now I will explore inflation as a key factor affecting our economy and daily lives. Inflation isn't just rising prices, it's driven by supply, demand, cost, and expectations. I will cover the three main types: demand pull, cost push, and built-in inflation. By understanding this, we can better grasp now how inflation shapes the economy. One of the primary causes of inflation is demand pull inflation. This happens when the demand for goods and services exceeds the economy's ability to supply them. Several factors can cause these types of inflation, such as increased consumer spending, expansionary fiscal or monetary policies, and economic growth. For instance, during a post recession recovery, a government stimulus and consumer spending can boost demand, but if supply doesn't catch up, price will rise. Next, let's look at cost push inflation. This occurs when the cost of production increases, forcing business to raise prices. Common reasons include rising labor costs, higher prices for raw materials, and supply chain distribution. A classic example is an oil price shock. When oil price rise, transportation and production costs increase, leading to higher prices for goods and services. The third type is built-in inflation, also known as wage price inflation. This type of inflation is driven by expectations. When workers expect prices to rise, they demand higher wages to maintain their purchasing power. In turn, business pass these increased labor costs onto consumers through higher prices, creating a cycle of inflation. This cycle often sustains itself unless external interventions occur, such as monetary policies adjustment. So to summarize, inflation is caused by various factors. Demand pull inflation occurs when demand exceeds supply. Cost push inflation result from rising production costs, and built-in inflation stems from expectation of rising prices. Understanding these causes is crucial for policymakers and economists as they work to manage inflation and maintain economic stability. Recognizing the sign of these inflationary pressures helps us adapt and respond effectively.
Hi, my name is Mama Aiman Rashidi Mazlan. My metric number 305325. I want to talk about how inflation measure. First, we have Consumer Price Index or CPI. CPI is measure to price of market basket consumer goods and service. Second, CPI is measure inflation rate. Formula for this CPI is CPI current year minus CPI base year divided by CPI base year times 100. Function of CPI is to compare between percentage of CPI current year with percentage of CPI base year. Second, we have gross domestic product deflator (GDP). GDP is comprehensive measurement of inflation. It includes all the price of goods and service in economy. Formula for GDP is C plus I plus G plus X minus M, which is consumer plus investment plus government and plus net export. Why? Because it counts expenses of consumer, investment, government and net export. Next, we will see how inflation managed. First, we have price control. Price control is price caps that mandate by government and apply specific goals. Price control have many maximum price and minimum price. For example, we have gasoline and electricity. Second, we have discount rate. Discount rate is interest rate that charged by a central bank on loans to commercial bank. Discount rate is a key of monetary policy to manage inflation. Discount rate can be rising and can be lowering. Lastly, we have open market operation. Open market operation is a primary tool used by central bank that can buying and selling of government security, influence money supply and economic activities. When inflation high, we can sell the government security. When inflation is low, we buy the security.
So, what have we learned about inflation? It's more than just rising prices, it's a reflection of the complex and ever changing economy we all participate in. Inflation affects our daily life, from the cost of essentials like foods and housing to the value of our savings and investment. Inflation affects all, but understanding it can help you make smarter financial choices. So the next time prices rise, we know it's more than just a number, it's a story about the economic and our role within it. Thank you.